Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
Hello and welcome to the Good Vibes Only show right here on DreamStream. I'm Kathleen Kgoroeadira. Thank you very much for joining me today. Now, today I am joined by the founder and managing director of Opulence Radio, Tholo Motaung. He's also a moderator, he's a host, he's a speaker, he's a broadcaster, he's also an entrepreneur. He's all of the above. He does every single thing. He's a talented individual and obviously busy. So I'm super happy that he agreed to join me today. Mr. T, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
No, it's a pleasure. You know, I can't say no to you. So, yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much. So, Mr. T, I often ask people that come onto the show to tell me a bit about themselves, just so the viewers can also get an insight on the person that is seated in front of me.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about yourself, you know, where you're from, how things were for you as a little child growing up.
Yeah. And thanks for that, because it's quite a tricky question.
Yes.
Like, you don't know where to start, what to talk about, and all of that. But
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that, you know, you're guiding me on where I should start. So I was born and bred in the Eastern Free State. There's a very small town called Gestel, just 30 km from Kgoroeadira, very close to Kgoroeadira. I was born and bred there. I grew up there. I have a brother, so we only two at home. But he's like 10 years older than me. So you can, you know, that
The
age
age gap.
difference.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like the dynamics.
Yes.
It's more of you always fight and.
Yeah.
But there's been so much love, you know, between us. He'll always look out for me and all of that kind of stuff. So I grew up there, did my primary schooling there. Then I went to a boarding school for high school. It was an agricultural school. So it was somewhere between Kgoroeadira and Harry Smith.
Yeah.
Right. Studied agriculture there. My thinking at the time was that I'm going to be an agricultural economist.
Okay.
You know, that was set in my mind. I think until I did grade 10, which was standard 8 by then.
Yes.
That can tell you my age. And then I started to change my mind, and I thought, because I was very active, right? I think I played 4 sporting codes.
Okay.
And for some reason I managed, right? I danced, I played volleyball, I played tennis, I played basketball as well.
Yeah.
I was part of the debating team as well. So I was doing a whole lot of things.
Dabbling into a lot of things.
Yeah, but then as I grew older, around grade 10, grade 11 there, I then started having much interest in public relations, because then when we had events, then I will MC, I will perform, you know. So I started having much interest on that side, because also as I was dancing as well, so entertainment I started to have much interest in it. But unfortunately, during grade 11, my dad passed. During grade 12, my mom passed. So now I was left with my brother and my grandmother from my mom's side. So it was, you know, that thing, how do you take life? How do you manage life? Had to look for work and study. So completed my degree in industrial psychology, which now I had changed my mind again. So, okay, now I'm going to do industrial psychology. You know, but I don't regret it though, because what you study and how it trains you to think has helped me throughout my journey in terms of my career, even life as well. Yeah. So having done that, I've worked in different spaces, done a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
I worked as a paramedic. My first job, I was a paramedic.
Mr. T.
I promise
Are you serious?
I promise you. But I realized that I'm more of a boardroom kind of person.
Yeah.
You know, because it was really also taking a toll on me. I mean, you do night shifts for 4 days, then you home 4 days, and so that was a bit, you know, challenging for me. Then I worked as a PA.
Yeah.
Right. I worked as a PA, and working as a PA, that's when then I started to see my interest in empowering other people. Right. I formed an administrative forum. I was still at Val University of Technology at the time, which then led to the National Conference for Administration in the higher education sector.
Okay.
So I basically pioneered that. And that gave me a kickstart in terms of starting to now training other people.
Yeah.
And then I left. I went into the union space. So I worked there doing strategy for a union. That led me to work with International Labour Organization and also FEDUSA, at an EC level. And it gave me much exposure, to other areas. But training and also moderating conferences and speaking at conferences now became the main thing that I was doing until COVID happened, right? And now it was a matter of, okay, what now?
Yeah.
We can't meet in person. And I think we're also not ready for online training and all of that.
Yes.
But also, personally, I don't like online training. It limits the ability to interact.
Yes.
But if we're
On a
personal
level,
level,
yeah.
because for me it has always been that if you are in a class that I'm training, I pay attention to all of the people that are there.
Yes.
Because for me is you are there to acquire knowledge. Therefore, when you get back, you need to be able to apply what you have learned.
Yeah.
So if there's somebody that I see that they sort of are lagging behind,
or
during tea time, during lunch, I sit down with them, have a chat with them, and all of that. So they are able, to catch up with others.
Yeah.
So now with online, it's more of a person can say they're on, but they could be doing anything.
Yeah.
So that then I stopped training. I had to sit and think, well, okay, what is it that I want to do? But I'd say fortunately at the time I had a Denmark company that I was consulting for. So they're basically assisting unions in the South African region. So that is South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Mozambique. So
Okay.
I would go there to train them, also to assist them with how to strategize in terms of running unions and stuff. Yeah, so I think that has been basically my journey overall before I got into the media space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you also regard yourself as a transformation catalyst.
Yes.
Further elaborate on that. You because you use that to empower and unlock potential in different areas or different platforms.
Correct.
So further elaborate on that, and also just so we have an understanding of what exactly that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a transformation is about change. Transformation is about moving from a space where you are unable or you're not even aware of what you are capable of doing, right? And moving to a space where you can be the best version of yourself. And through training, that's basically what I have been doing. That when people walk in, I would always want to understand that who are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing? If you're coming for this training, at the end of it, what is it that you're looking to what is it that you want to walk away with?
Yes.
Right. And for me, it doesn't end at the day the training ends. It goes beyond that to say, now you're going to go back, implement that, but there are going to be challenges, right? Either it could be that you have to change your behavior in terms of pattern. If you procrastinate a lot, now you'll be challenged to say, okay, now I need to, we're human beings, right? And changing behavior, it's a process.
Because it's a habit.
It's a habit, right? So sometimes you can get stuck on one thing. Sometimes it's a mishap of, I should have done it, but, and you come up with all these excuses. But I would avail myself, to coach people, say, okay, now what are the challenges that you're facing? What is it that you want to achieve? Or how do you think you can get there? You know? So, and that's the thing about transformation, that it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but a person needs to have the tools to use for them to be able to change
Yeah.
to the level that they want to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you use the COVID-19 pandemic to now obviously get into the technology space
Yeah.
and use that as a time to also be able to engage with your people on social media. Obviously, because you couldn't do some interaction with people physically, like you've said. Is that how you then established Opulence Radio through that period?
Okay. Yeah. Partly yes.
Okay.
Right. So I then started to do Instagram lives where then I will engage people.
Yeah.
Mainly about the courses that I would do. So we'll take content and just engage people to basically assist people to see now that the world is changing.
Yeah.
How do we prepare ourselves so we can still function and be productive in a world that is changing? Because none of us was ready for that.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know what's going to happen. How long is it going to take? So it was a matter of everybody's anxious, everybody's stressed out. So how do I then move from here going forward? So I used that a lot. But during that period, there was a gentleman who actually started an online radio.
Okay.
So he always had a dream to start an online radio until he got funds, then he started it. And I think about 6 months into it, that's when then COVID hit. Then after when then lockdown started to to restrictions to be relaxed a bit, he then contacted me to say, look, I've started this and I've got a manager, but we're not getting where we need to go, and I don't know what to do, right? So because I would consult on from a strategy point of view, it's like, okay, let me come in and see what we can do. I went in, analyzed the environment, did the interviews with the staff and everybody else, and unfortunately, they did not have a plan. They did not have a strategy at all.
Were they just winging it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you come in, they come in,
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go.
talk.
Let's just do it. I think that was the unfortunate part of it, that they did not have a clear plan that everybody in the organization needed to understand that, okay, these are our goals and this is the timelines that we need to reach our goals. Did that, and I gave him a plan for a year. And 2 days later, he calls me, says, I think you need to come and implement this because I don't think the person I've appointed to lead the organization is able to do it. And now it was a matter of, am I even ready? But remember, during the period of analysis and consultation, I had to do my research as well because I did not have any knowledge of online radio.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting. You learn different things. And the more you learn, the more you want to know about it. And I was like, okay, now I have the understanding of it. Let me go. Went in, but unfortunately, it was a bit too late in that from financial resources, now he was depleted. And it was a matter of either he gets some kind of capital or some kind of a cash in that he could use, to resuscitate it and get it going. But unfortunately, it was a bit too late. Because when he called me, he thought he'll get some kind of funding, which unfortunately he didn't. So then he had to close down, and it was quite a painful experience for me as well. So because during that time when I went in to assist him with the implementation process, I said to him, don't pay me because I can see what is the financial situation. Once that funding comes in, then you can pay me. But unfortunately, it didn't come in here to close down. So then I thought to myself, give me this equipment, let me go do this, because already I've got this knowledge and understanding of what's happening. But also for me, now it was an extension of educating people, because now it's on a massive scale than when you're doing it at classroom level. So he said, no, it's okay, but rather take equipment. So we checked the value. I took equipment. That's how Opulence Radio came to life. Yeah.
Now, since I've known you, I can see that you have this passion for, helping other people realize their potential and, make a success out of that particular potential. Where does this passion come from before we actually dabble into the Opulence Radio conversation?
Yeah.
Because you've also just said now that you, with this, when you received the knowledge and the platform and then the equipment and all of that, you then found it as a way to also help, people. Where does this passion come from?
I think it probably comes from my experiences.
Need a photo studio? The Dreamstream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Son of Augustine. Let's go.
Because when my parents passed, you're left in an environment where, yes, you have a brother, you have extended family members, but they also have their families to take care of, right? So as much as they help you, they can't really go 100% in helping you, right? So now you start trying to find ways of making life to reach your dreams. But as you do that, you realize that you need some kind of assistance also in different spaces you get into. And I think I've been blessed enough that I got people who were able to help me establish my careers in different environments that I've been in. And for me, that was a lesson that when you extend a hand to another person, you're not only assisting them to start their life or to start their career, but there's also other people behind them that they're going to help as well, So, but there's nothing that gives pleasure than seeing a person that you have assisted win. That for me is
joy.
Is everything, So when I see somebody that is trying, that is pushing, and you can see also that they've got the zeal for it. For me is, if I've got the means, let me, And I think that's how as a nation we can be able to move forward. When we are able to support each other, when we are able to be there for each other, and be there not necessarily expecting that you're going to do something for me. Being there to assist you to reach your dream, because if I do that, it brings a change not only in your environment, but in everybody's environment, because you're going to contribute to the bigger picture, to the economy, which I'm still going to benefit anyway, So assisting you doesn't mean you owe me. It means I'm basically, giving you that push that you need for you to get there. So I think it probably comes from there.
Okay. Now let's go into Opulence Radio. Let's talk about the establishment of it. You initially now had this vision with the station that you now have to implement. You have to structure shows. You have to get hosts that will fit that particular show. You have to get sponsors. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. Walk us through the process.
Sure. I think having worked as a strategist for a while helped, because then you realize that you have to have a good plan to get things going. The challenging part is resources. That, okay, yes, you've got equipment, but you need a studio and everything else that you mentioned. So the most important thing was to say, you're establishing this radio station, what is it, why should people listen to it? How is it going to be different from other existing radio stations? Because now, as much as you are online, you're competing with the bigger ones that have been there, for a while, that have millions of listeners. Why should it be different, right? And that's why for me it was lifestyle is what everybody is about, whether you have money or you don't have money, but there's a certain kind of a lifestyle that you live. But at the end of the day, we all aspire to live a certain kind of a life. And for me, it was, this is the platform that will give people hope that I can be able to achieve this kind of a life, that will educate and empower people to be able to live a meaningful life in a way that they appreciate it, and without necessarily feeling any kind of pressure that, okay, I don't have this much now, but I want, but and that's how also, the shows were structured, to say we're going to have more of special kind of programs where you have like a show for a cooking show, you have a travel show, you have a spiritual show, because also the target market is young people. So officially, I think it's 25 to 35 or there, around there. But we've realized that now we're reaching people outside that. But initially, that was the target market. And this is a generation that wants engagement. This is the generation that wants to engage on issues, that wants their voices to be heard, right? So you're online. You don't really have restrictions that your typical commercial registration will have. So it's like, okay, let's do it in a way that when listeners are listening, they will want to engage, that we touch issues that usually we, as a society, we put under the carpet, because that's where the answers of our problems are, the answers of our challenges are, right? So that's how then I got to structure the shows. In terms of getting presenters, I think that was really challenging. That was really challenging, because now it's a matter of, you need a certain skill. You need a certain personality, because also, remember, you're establishing a brand. So as you have to have somebody that is going to be behind the mic, they should represent this brand. Right. And now it's different shows. And if you're going to have live shows, there has to be a rhythm to it. As you're listening, you need to hear that I'm listening to Opulence Radio. It sounds similar, but not necessarily the same. So it was a matter of advertising again. Ran the interviews, which was quite daunting, right? You meet different characters, you meet different, and that's where then the industrial psychology, studying played a major part for me to be able to identify who can really get into it and be fit for what I'm looking for. And I think with all of that, that's when then I could get the right people to start with.
Now we are in an era, if I could call it that, where the online platform is fast growing. You're seeing a lot of your YouTube channels being established. You're seeing podcasts coming around. You're seeing a lot of online radio stations that are being established as well. There's a lot that is happening in the online space. There's a lot of content that is being put out there in the online space. How would you find your niche, if I could put it that way, to differentiate yourself from all the other platforms that are on the space or on the platform?
We found the niche was basically, when I started, I said I wanted it to be a lifestyle radio station, right? It has to be about lifestyle. But it being about lifestyle, it means it has to talk to different parts of lifestyle. So if a young professional is listening to it, they should be able to tune in and listen to Changing Lanes and learn about cars, and get information about how can they choose the kind of car they want, what kind of payments they need to look out for, contractual. So finding the niche was young people, but young modern people. Right? And we talk to young modern people. The
end goal, I would assume, for you is longevity, right? Within the space, creating a space that is sustainable and that is long lasting. So with longevity, how would you advise an individual to best equip themselves to be able to create a long-lasting career or business or brand within the online space?
Firstly, you have to be prepared for change. It's constant. And with online, it's very fast. It's very fast. And if you are prepared for that, it's easy for you to stay relevant. Because you are able to see the change, new trends when they come, you then have to make sure that you stay relevant to them, right? But don't lose the gist of what you are about, because that's the core of why you exist.
Yes.
Right. So don't lose that, but stay with your eyes and ears open, and on the floor, so you're able to anticipate trends.
Yeah.
Because in that way, then you're able to stay relevant. Yeah.
I love that you touch on the core of it all. What is the core value of Opulence Radio?
The core value of Opulence Radio, it's basically to inspire and
Yeah.
empower young people to live an opulent life. So it doesn't matter whether you are at high school, varsity, or you're starting working, but we bring you content that encourages you to work harder, to be able to achieve more, to be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But basically the bigger picture is that we want to inspire you to work hard and know about other things that can help you to get more in life. Yeah.
How does it feel to see your vision actualize? It's still growing, by the
Yeah.
way, but how does it feel? I can assume that it feels good to see everything that you've planned within your head becoming implemented, and people are seeing it and people are loving the brand. How do you feel?
It's reassuring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's reassuring that I'm still in the right path.
Yeah.
Right. But the challenging part of it is I get challenged every time, because now you see, okay, oh yeah, we've achieved this. So okay, it means where to now? What else? Because the thing about the entertainment space is that you're as good as yesterday.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always a new
There's always a
person.
new. So you can't say, yes, we've got it,
We've
then
landed.
relax.
Yeah.
It's then how do we make it better?
Yeah,
You know, but you get that that feeling of being fulfilled, that yes, we've been able to achieve this. So how do we get others to and that those proud moments that other things you'd be able to achieve them in a way that you did not anticipate that
Yeah.
you can achieve them. So it's more of, oh, okay, great stuff. Yeah.
Mr. T, the online space is so hard to navigate, especially with the way South Africa is set up. There's load shedding, there's this and there's that. How do you navigate that when there's so many challenges that are brought forth to you? How do you then deal with those challenges that are, going on within the space?
Yeah. I think firstly planning helps a lot, because should anything happens without you anticipating it, then you're able to move to plan B.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about online radio. You have to have plan A, B, and C for
Maybe
that matter.
D, just in case.
Just in case, So you basically have to have a good plan.
Yeah.
To say, should this happen, should that happen, what else do we need to do? But also beyond that is constant engagement, constant communication with your listeners, that they always have to be aware. And I always believe that it's better to share more information than less, because when you share more information, people are always clued up of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But also to be instant in doing things, that if perhaps we find ourselves in a situation where now there's no power, there's nothing happening, you have to post immediately on social media that we're having technical issues, we're attending to them.
Yeah.
So now your people or your listeners know, okay, there's something like this happening, then they can come back later to listen, because they've got options.
Yeah,
So if they tune in and you're not there, they cannot be. They don't have time to go and find out, okay, what's going on
Yeah.
and all of that. You need to communicate that to them. Use different platforms to reach them, for them to be able to know what is happening. Yeah.
Do you think mainstream radio is dying down? Commercial radio?
I don't
The
think.
answer might offend people.
Yeah.
By the way. Yeah. Do you think it's slowly dying down?
Look, I don't think it dies. It will die. I don't think it will die completely. Yes, the online might take a big chunk of numbers.
Yeah.
But it will not die, because it's still, for example, it's much easier to tune in than online, right? So that convenience is one of the things that will keep it going,
Yeah.
right? it will die also if they give content that people are not
Bored with, let's say.
relating to. Yeah. So definitely it will die in that way. But online it's highly competitive.
Yeah.
Right? It's highly competitive, and it's definitely taking over. And load shedding or not, it's still taking over, because the lovely thing about it, people have that opportunity to tune in at the time they want, So for us, if somebody wants to listen to, for example, the talk, they know it's a 3-hour show. They know the first hour they're talking cars. The second hour they've got a media personality. The third hour it's other issues. So
I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never
Are you a musician?
all I know. My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise like
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour.
we work for a fall in line. We gon' give it all until the end of time.
It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply, and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
if I'm interested in cars, I'm going to tune in for the first hour.
Yeah.
Then I'm covered. I can listen to the whole 3 hours, but if I've got the part that I love the most,
Yeah.
that's it. And
Yeah.
and that's why I say as Opulence Radio we've got specialized kind of programs, because then you want to give a listener that chance that if they don't have enough data, they can tune in for that particular segment
Yeah.
they like.
Yeah.
And when they're in the space where there's data, then they can listen to everything else. Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone that wants to go into the online space? Are there any benefits to it?
There are a lot of benefits, really. There are a lot of benefits. You can make good money, lots of money
Yeah.
out of it if you're doing it right. You are able to be relevant. You are easily accessible, and all of that. But I think the most important thing is answer the why.
Yeah.
Why do you want to go on it? Because then once you answer that, it's going to help you to plan how to do it and also to sustain it.
Yeah.
Because also if you're not consistent on the online space, forget it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yeah.
So you can't come today, do something, and next week you're not there, the following week you're there. It's not gonna work. Yeah.
What are the future plans for you, for Opulence Radio, for the things that you're working on? Where do you see yourself?
Okay, for myself, I have a dream of hosting a talk show, more of your Felicia Mabuza settle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that as a society we have a lot of issues that we need to tackle on daily basis, and I feel that it is such platforms that gives us an opportunity to talk about those issues. And when we are on those platforms, we also need to be honest, because that's where then solutions will come.
Yes.
And we shy away from a lot of things because either we want to make ourselves
Neutral.
we don't want
We
to
don't want to give
offend
honest
people.
opinions.
We don't want to step on each other's toes. But that doesn't help us. We need to talk about issues, and I believe that kind of engagement will help us. And Opulence Radio, we are starting to bring visuals.
Yeah.
So we intend to bring more visuals to it. Apologies, because it sort of balances things.
Yes.
That you listen, you see, you
Yes.
listen, you see.
And people enjoy watching things as well. They enjoy
That's
the
true.
visuals.
Yeah, that's true. But also we planning to expand into the African continent by having presenters from different parts of the African continent. So we've started, speaking to a few of the people that are interested in doing that. So it's just a matter of working on logistics
Yes.
and getting it going. Yeah.
Mr. T, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a
I
pleasure.
appreciate your time.
It's a
I
pleasure.
appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
I think I had a good time having a chat with you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And to your lovely viewers, thank you so much for watching. Until next week, I love you.